I can't help it, I just seem to see the world different. It ain't Republicans or liberals, it's mental illness. The internet is only interested in left opinions. Cancel culture's got more power lately than the First Amendment. If you don't like it, leave. We will not defund police. We don't want no riots in our neighborhoods or in the streets. We respect freedom of speech. We protect what we believe. We don't want nobody dead, so please do not tread on me. In America, if freedom ain't free. In America, got soldiers dying overseas. So America, you can say what we believe. My America, I won't ever take a knee. Our freedom is the reason you can disrespect our flag. If my stars and stripes offend you, then I'll help you pack your bags. America.
Good evening, America! How are y'all doing? This is your friendly neighborhood Bearded Weirdo coming at you loud and proud as I always do. And with this magnificence upon my face. How y'all doing, everybody? It is Tuesday, June, 4th, 5th? It's somewhere around there. It is the 4th. And you know what? I have to say it, y'all. Happy Life Month. I'm glad y'all are here. And before we get started, before I introduce my cohorts, my companions, I need you to go in and I need you to hit some like buttons, some follow buttons, some subscribe buttons, and give us all the stars because we are growing massively, especially on Rumble. And we thank each and every one of you for how much we've been growing.
Rumble is awesome, man.
So keep it going, keep the subscriptions going, and keep growing it.
By the way, before you even introduce me, I just want to point out the marketing genius of Rumble. Did anybody catch it?
What?
No. YouTube's red. Rumble is green.
Yes. So,
yeah.
But that being said, you've heard the sexiness from my left.
Excuse you.
It is the one.
Look, I know it's Pride Month too. Don't make me hurt you already.
It's not Pride Month. This is y'all know him. He's my best friend, my compadre. He also happens to be my pastor. He is the one, the only, the Gary Podosek, the pastor.
I was going to say, yeah, you forgot something there.
And then behind the curtain, he's back, everybody. You heard his voice. He's back. We have our man
who's back
behind the buttons,
pushing
them the way that we like it. Because I got to tell you, I've been doing this computer stuff while he's not here, and I hate it. So please, with a round of applause, welcome back, Steve Cattell, baby. How you doing, brother? How's it feel to be back?
Better. A lot better than being in constant writhing pain.
Yes.
That's much better.
Yes, that's good.
Man, and what's the valuable lesson you've learned? Listen to your significant other or she will beat you. I mean, no, that wasn't the reason why. That wasn't it.
If that was the case, he would still be in the hospital.
I would still be in the hospital. Because if I didn't listen to her, I would still be in... I would be probably dead.
You'd probably be dead.
I'd probably be dead if I didn't listen to her.
So, as you can tell, the topic of today is whose month is this? But before we get into that, there's something that we need to talk about real quick. Just a current event thing that we have to talk about.
Yeah, we do have to talk about.
Look, I'm sure people have been seeing this all over the internet, all over news, all over whatever. I'm just going to say this right now that the sham court in New York that decided to convict Donald J. Trump.
Did they convict of what?
34 counts of giving money to a...
Yeah, but I mean, like, generally, so the biggest problem with this entire case was you have to actually do something criminally wrong in order to be convicted of a crime. You have to state a crime. They never stated a crime.
No. They've
never stated a crime.
Saying that it was 30.
Looking like a man.
That might have been. Could have been the crime.
No. He did.
Could have been the crime.
No.
You're not wrong.
Here's what the crime is. The crime is that he was.
Miss Swan was one of the jurors.
The crime is that Donald Trump.
No. Mr. Trump, he took money and then he fondled me.
No. What it is that he got convicted of the crime of being Donald Trump on a day ending in day.
Ending in Y. Ending in Y. Well, this is true. Like the reality is if Trump had never, ever announced his candidacy, decided he was just going
Even
to
the
play
first
golf, not do anything else. He
Nobody
wasn't going to
would
be a
bother him.
candidate, even though everybody wanted him to run. He just said, "No, I'm not going to do it."
no, they were
I'm
already
going to
planning on
endorse.
doing this before.
I'll endorse, DeSantis. I'll endorse,
Well, no,
whoever.
he
if he'd have just put his name behind somebody else and not
They
ran,
still went after him. They were
yeah,
already
yeah,
planning
they
on
weren't
it.
going to run. I guarantee you, all those cases would have dropped.
Now,
They would've dropped.
this
They
is
would've
the
been
problem. Okay, besides the fact that it's a total sham court. Okay,
It was.
the fact that this
Kangaroo is not actually a good term to use.
No, no,
anymore.
no.
It's a bad thing to kangaroos.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what that means.
Like kangaroo court basically is like it's a circus.
It's a farce.
It's a farce of a yeah, but
And then-
that's insulting to kangaroos.
And then the DA goes. Over the weekend goes to his church, and his church calls him a warrior of God, and that he was doing God's work by putting.
and if you challenge him, you're a racist.
yes,
Gotcha.
Yeah, because
Gotcha,
because
'cause
everything
white man's
against a
racist.
black person is only because racism.
but see, here's the thing.
So
Here's now
all the black
again.
people killing other black people, that would just be more black racists?
See,
No,
no, you're racist for mentioning it. You're racist.
You're
for bringing that
racist.
up. You're
Yeah,
racist.
sorry, I'm gonna have to take your card.
Sorry, Juneteenth and everything. I mean,
Look, how dare you bring up gang violence, black on black gang violence? That's racist of you. So
Oh,
knock
man.
it off. But reparations.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a sham trial, and it's gonna.
The problem
it's gonna
with
go
this
to
whole
appeals,
thing is
but-
that each one of these counts that he was convicted of, at the very highest, they hold a maximum penalty of 4 years in prison for each count. Do I believe he will get 100 and some odd years in prison? No. Do I believe that they will try to house arrest his behind during when he's supposed to be running for office? I do believe that. He's going to appeal. Who wouldn't? It'll most likely, if it ever gets to the Supreme Court, it would get thrown out, because unless you're going to go back and go after, Bill Clinton for the money that he gave the $800,000 that he gave to
Lewinsky? Monica Lewinsky?
No, not Lewinsky. The other one. The other broad that he was accused of sleeping with.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
I can't remember her name. No, Monica Lewinsky. He didn't give money to.
He should have.
No, it was the other.
Maybe she would have stayed quiet.
I can't remember her name. I can't remember her name, but he gave $800,000 to somebody else to keep her quiet, and she was part of it. She was part of his cabinet.
What people don't understand, and this is something I wish people did understand. It generally, and I don't have like actual evidence of this, so I'm not. But I know of this. When you're running for office of any type, you have campaign finances, and some of the campaign finances that you take are for protections, and the protections, legal protections that you sometimes have to take, are against a lot of people who will come out of the woodworks.
That's what they got him on, is because you're not allowed to use campaign money to pay for that.
Well,
but he was saying,
hold on, that's not true.
He used his own money.
That's not true. It's legal, right? Because you have like Michael Cohen, his job.
His whole thing. That's it. Michael Cohen was not Cohen. The other, Trump's former lawyer is the one that should have won the whole thing for Trump. They slaughtered him on the stand.
But Cohen's job was to make people or things that were brought up that were untrue, false claims. A lot of people come out, and this is what my point is if you're nobody running for office, there will be people that will come at you and claim things just to either defame you or it's libel or it's.
My problem is if Stormy Daniels was paid that much money for hush money, should she have to give it back because she couldn't keep her?
Well, she does. She already lost the case. Trump won that case. People don't remember that. Like, he won the case. She literally had nothing to do with this case anyway. She had nothing to do with it. But this is the thing, though, and I'm bringing it up as the sense of if you were just anybody like running for a political office, you're going to have a legal team that helps keep those things from coming up in the surface and stuff like that, because people will lie to defame you, especially if you have an opponent. A big part of politics is finding dirt on your opponent, mudslinging to get that person to
it shouldn't be, but it
is. So now take that with a nobody. Like, it could have been one of us in the room. Let's say he's running for office. Okay, there's going to be a bunch of people in line. All right, there's no doubt. But the world doesn't know him like the world knows Donald Trump.
Right.
And so you're talking about a guy who is not just state famous, New York, not just nationally famous. He's world famous. He's internationally known. And so you cannot tell me there isn't there's I can't even think of a big enough vehicle of people that are just coming in by the droves with all kinds of money grab attacks, try to get just a piece of his pie because they know that he's in a spot where if I go to the news or I go to there or I go to here, the news being 100%, not 50, not 75, 100% against Donald Trump. The news is against him. Anybody claiming he killed their dog will get 15 minutes of news time.
Wait. That's what's her face kills dogs.
I'm just saying. Fauci does too.
No. Well, Fauci does, and
but I'm just saying.
Chick's name? I can't remember her name.
Noam.
Yeah, Kristi Noam.
Yeah,
she kills dogs.
That's
not Trump.
But anyway, my point is that
admitted to it.
But if one person comes out and says, "Oh, Trump killed my dog. He hit it with a car or something like that," no claim, no facts, no evidence, no nothing. That person's going to get 15 minutes on CNN for sure, and it's going to be carried for about another month and a half. It'll probably end up in some court. He'll end up having to deal with it. It'll take him away from the campaign trail. He'll lose the case with no evidence, and he'll have to pay fines. So what the legal team does is pays these people just to go away. They get the little piece of money, and it's unfortunate that a lot of campaign finance does go to legal things like that. Yeah. What is stupid is the fact that they literally said, and this was the whole thing, the whole claim was this was an incident that did not happen during or because of his election, and that the campaign finances were used inappropriately to deal with this.
In other words, garbage, lie, garbage, lie.
But even then, it's a simple accounting error. Everybody anywhere literally said this. Every lawyer, both liberals, I mean, what's his face? Really large Democrat, major Democrat legal guy.
I don't know.
I can't remember. He's an old guy. But even he's sitting here going off. I mean, going off on this case and how absolutely bad the legal precedent that was set by this case and how absolutely devastating it is for the country. And this is a Democrat who gives money to Biden, voted for Biden. It's like you can't find a more left-wing guy, but he even knows the legal problems of this case were so bad. It was just so bad.
We just wanted to give a quick blurb on that and say, obviously, how this is just wrong.
It's messed up, and it's really bad.
And now July 11th is when he gets where they hand down his sentencing.
That's all right. Let's just vote for the outlaw.
Sometime between now and June 30th, the Supreme Court will say whether or not he can be have immunity for the January 6th trial that'll happen in D.C.
What?
So depending on how that goes, which I'm pretty sure they're not going to give him
felon
immunity.
president.
Technically, no.
Because it's not going to end up sticking.
No. That's not why I'm saying technically no. Technically, George Washington was a felon president too, because he was deemed a felon by the British government because of helping.
Yeah, but their government had no rule here.
You have no power here.
Like, we beat you. I'm no longer a felon because I beat you. It's like what? Who's the felon? The guy in jail or the dead guy who kept him in jail? Well, it's like if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's there to hear it, did it make a sound? No. So look, I mean, George Washington might have been a felon, but
was a felon.
If there was nobody to say, hey, by the way, that guy's a felon. Not a felon anymore.
But anyway,
I didn't do it.
This all being said, and why, like I said, we had to bring it up. We had to talk about it. We would be remiss if we didn't. So, like we said, sham court, sham everything.
Just giving you our.
But what we are going to talk about today, the topic is, whose month is this? In June, the Rainbow Jihad loves to say that this is their month and this is when they're going to Target and Walmart and all the big stores are going to put all the the tucking outfits.
Target's not doing that anymore.
No, they are.
No, they aren't.
Yes, they are.
Nope, they took it all off.
No, they didn't.
Okay, well,
that's what
I heard.
No, what they are doing this year and I've read the thing and I saw the thing that they stated. What they did is they looked at all their stuff, and where that stuff sold, they're putting it back on the shelves. Where that stuff didn't sell, those stores are not getting that stuff.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I guess.
I still think they're. I mean, look, I look at it from the stance of the
So like
Planet
California,
Fitness.
New Jersey, it's probably on the shelves.
No, but look, Planet Fitness is going to teach everybody a lesson. If you do this, look, I'm just saying,
This is gonna happen.
This is what's going to happen to you, because that dude in Planet Fitness. Sitting in there, I know we don't have the video for that, but there was a dude in Planet Fitness in the girls' locker room, grooming and cleaning himself. No surgeries.
Oh yeah, they
claiming to be a woman.
The guy
and the woman was like videotaping this guy and telling him like he can't do this. And there's a little girl, like an 11-year-old girl in the gym, horrified with like this going on right in front of her, and they kicked and suspended. They kicked her out, and they took her membership away.
Yep.
And literally that day after that video hit, they lost like 400 some odd thousand members instantly. I'm like, good, you deserve it.
That's what happens.
That's it. And this is literally what has to happen. If and
vote
I'm not
with your money. You have to vote with your money.
It's not just vote with your money. It's actually being a person of principle now. Like you might not have the money to vote with. Okay, fine. Maybe you're just, a hardworking guy. You're just putting your pennies together, taking care of yourself. I get you. I understand that. But what I do believe is that you have choices that you make every day, and whether or not you're going to sit there and boycotts work better than boycotts, but also if you can turn around and just tell people, look, like we just told you, if you're a Planet Fitness member and you don't like that, cancel your subscription. Get the word out. That is something.
Go somewhere else. Buy your own.
This is stuff you can do. You can get the word out.
Bud Light. That's how.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, but then UFC comes and picks them up and saves them by saying that it's un-American to not buy Bud Light because they're with UFC now.
But
But still,
what happened. Dana White.
He still lost billions.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. They went from being the number one beer in America
but here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's some things that you have to also recognize, right? You're a multi-billion-dollar corporation like Bud Light, right? Budweiser, whatever. You are not going to make Budweiser close all their factories. You're not going to make Budweiser go away. But you will make
their pockets.
Well, no, you're going to hurt their board.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
you're going to hurt the people that make
hurt
the decisions and determine whether or not this needs to continue. And guess what you did? What did happen is Budweiser didn't fold up, but Budweiser got rid of their woke messaging.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing with Bud Light. It was considered the number one beer, which means, because they go by these stats when it comes to liquor stores and stuff, placement in the liquor store. That's the number one beer. So that gets like first by the door so you can see it.
Right,
They lost number one, so they got pushed away from the front, and actual craft beers were getting put up in front that weren't, mass made, owned by Budweiser.
Probably better.
But the whole reason why this month is why we are going to sell, why I believe, and I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but why I believe that anybody that is pro-life, you need to be out celebrating this month. Why? Because 2 years ago on June 24th, 2022, the Supreme Court justices that Donald Trump got put into place got rid of Roe v. Wade. Now making it that there is no constitution protection for.
There's no federal. There's no
constitution.
federal governing of
abortion
law,
and
it goes to the states.
And this is where we need to be celebrating life. This is Life Month. Now, does this mean we won? No, because the ultimate thing to do to win this is to absolute abolish abortion.
Absolutely. But now there's a way to do it.
Yep. And like with states like Alabama, who have now put things into effect saying that a child in the womb is life. Because Alabama's put those laws in, now that's closing down all the abortion clinics, because their whole thing is that they could get rid of it because it's not life. But as long as you've got, that's what we need to codify now. Because once we codify federally that life begins in the womb.
But here's again,
conception.
I will say this. Yes, federally that would be great. Federally, it's not going to happen.
Not right now.
For the same reason. For the same reason that Roe v. Wade was unconstitutional. But here's the thing. I look at it from a different stance. I look at it from the stance of you now have the ability through your electoral power in your states to shift that now. You couldn't shift it on a federal level.
Well,
Right? You couldn't. There was no federal way to shift that order.
There is, and again, this was the whole argument with Roe v.
But it's going to
Wade.
be the same problem. It'll end up right back here again.
Even when Roe v. Wade was in originally in the courts, they literally said the lawyer team that was trying to get abortion literally said that if you make it law that life happens at conception, abortion cannot happen in this country, and they can't even fight it. As soon as you make it, life is at conception, codified in the Constitution, they can't argue it anymore.
Which is what, I mean, again.
They can't even, abortion automatically becomes abolished.
A stance from a obviously Judeo-Christian foundational way we were brought up in this nation was started, one would believe that would happen or would carry, but to sad news, we are not that nation.
No, we are not. We are not. And why? Again, going off of the last episode that we talked about, and even what my brother here has been preaching on Sundays, please go back, go into it and listen to his past couple sermons, because they have been on fire. And they have been on fire. The man has been reading my notes and has no idea that he's been reading my notes on things.
I don't read.
I don't read. No, just the Bible.
No, I do read.
But
I don't read his notes.
The church
I don't know what he's talking
needs
about.
to get out. And on top of this, the only way that anything is really going to change in this country is if we change the culture. The only way for us to really change the culture is for the churches to get out of their four walls, get out of their buildings, and start fighting against the culture and establishing the culture of the kingdom of heaven in this country.
True.
I'm about to show you guys something. I have got these videos. These guys have not seen them yet. This is by a group, a website called Choice 42. Choice 42. But it's Choice 42. But I do like that it's 42 because, geeks here.
Yeah.
What is the answer to everything?
42.
But it's
Everything
actually...
and life.
It's Choice 42. This is a Canadian company that, I don't want to say company. This is a Canadian nonprofit that is...
So what's it all about?
Huh?
What's it all about?
They have finally said enough is enough, and they're going to fight hard against abortion. And they put up a couple videos.
They're going to fight against abortion.
I'm going to warn this now. If you are watching us live on YouTube and YouTube dumps us, the video will be put up on Rumble later.
And we will probably pause it at certain points so we can...
because we're going to react to it live. So.
But these guys haven't seen it.
Yep.
I have. We have two videos for them. The first one is actually narrated by Hercules himself, Kevin Sorbo.
Oh, cool. I like Kevin.
The second one, I don't know who does that, but again, it's narrated. You might need to turn up your things because it's not like he's talking. He's not talking very loud when he's doing this very monotone type of thing.
Yeah, that's all the way up. And then I'll turn
so, yeah, just I give it to y'all. This is y'all tell me how hard they threw the gauntlet down on this one.
All right, we're gonna have a little feedback here.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little feedback while we're listening.
So just bear with us. Here we go.
Still a true story. A man.
I just arrived at work as the hospital's lead sonographer and was looking at the patient's schedule for the day when my boss told me to go immediately to the OR. The surgeon was requesting ultrasound guidance. That was all the information I was given. I had no idea what I was walking into. I wheeled the ultrasound machine into the OR. The patient was already sedated on the operating table. Plugging in the machine, I waited for instructions from the doctor.
Oh, wait. Quick pause.
He barked.
Quick pause. If you have kids in the room, get them out of the room. Seriously, this is not for kids at all. Oh. Get them out of the room ASAP. I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You've been warned.
Me to place the ultrasound probe on the patient's pelvis so he wouldn't perforate her uterus. Still confused about the procedure, I did as he asked and realized the woman was pregnant. She was in her second trimester, so I easily determined the gender of her baby, a little girl. Stunned, I watched the doctor thrust a catheter into the amniotic sac. The fetus dodged the catheter and tried to hide in the top of her mother's uterus to get away. In horror, I watched as he inserted a forceps clamp and grabbed her tiny leg. She writhed around in pain, trying to break free, but there was nowhere for her to go. Then the doctor pulled hard until her leg ripped away from her body.
Oh my God.
She recoiled and violently twisted around in pain and curled herself into a tight ball. But it was no use. The clamp grabbed her arm and she struggled to pull away. Her movements weakened now because she was dying.
This is what
He
really
pulled her
happens.
arm off of her body.
Okay. We're gonna have to do a quick pause on that. So when was this?
What do you mean?
When did this happen? Like, is this how it always happens, or is this something?
Well,
that's
all right. So,
recently happened?
here's what I will tell you.
This is based off. Now, mind you, this is based off.
All of a true story, but
it is off
Yeah.
a true story. This was during second trimester.
Yeah, this is second.
This is
yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm like, this baby's like alive. Like,
Yeah.
no. That's when they. This is what they do.
So
This
hold
is
on.
what
So
they
hold
do.
on. All right. So, and you can turn the volume down on the
on the speakers, yeah.
real quick.
Here's what happens when if it was in the first trimester or if it's early on, okay, they give you a chemical, it stops the growth. You
naturally pass the embryo.
naturally pass it.
Yeah, it's so again, you really like if people, and this is again things that are not taught well, right? You go to health class, you get that stupid video, and most people tune out in high school that one time that you watch it because you generally don't want it or care, because you're interested in I want to see the boobies if you're a guy, or you're the girls I'm sure probably had no desire to see what they saw, but they saw it anyway. But the
we
point,
don't even want to look at it.
But the point is that when you get to that birth and life stage, right, they talk about the trimesters and they talk about where a baby is in their trimesters. And that first trimester, they're still very much contained, embryonic. They're growing like, from like a pea to a bean or whatever. But
6 weeks
there is life. There's life sterile. There's the organs are forming. Everything is starting to form at that point, but they're not fully formed by that stage. When you get to the second trimester, this is where they become more life form. This is when they start to actually have limbs. And
no, they have them before that.
Yes, but they
still have them in the first trimester.
But they're not nearly as
not as
developed. This is what makes those laws that you were hearing in California, or the ones that you were hearing in other states that were like
trying to do the up
to and including birth garbage, right?
Yeah.
This is where you're talking about, like, and let's just use you. I'm sure you were there when your son was born.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? Could you imagine before your son was born, that's what they did to him?
Absolutely not.
That's actually what they do.
This is
how the procedure is done.
I need to watch the rest of this because
it's how the procedure is done.
Because that was absolutely ridiculous.
And they're not done.
I can see that.
Yeah, they're not done.
So we're gonna
continue this on. Again,
the volume's going to be up.
Unless you need your children, I would say teenagers need to see this so that they don't think that abortion is just some sort of way of birth control. But other than that,
or that abortion is like, it's a medically necessary procedure, and all they're doing is they're just getting rid of the baby. Okay.
Yeah. So again,
now you see how it happens.
Small children don't need to see this at all.
All right, so
we'll
try with the feedback again, see how it works.
My vision blurred. My eyes filled with tears. The child again curled herself into a tight ball, but again, the device grabbed her other leg and it was ripped from her body. By now, her heartbeat had slowed significantly, but she was still alive. The clamp grabbed her last limb and ripped it off. She wiggled and squirmed around, and then her heart finally stopped beating. I announced that there was no more cardiac activity. The nurse and scrub tech in the room gasped, realizing for the first time that this was happening to a fetus that was still alive. The remaining body parts, the head and torso, were removed. Placenta was removed, and a final look with ultrasound revealed all products of conception were removed. I was told I could leave the room. Up until that moment, I had been frozen. I silently removed the ultrasound machine from the operating room, went directly to the locker room, and threw up.
Yep, that's about right.
I quit my job at that hospital
Good
shortly
job.
after. I told my boss I would never again participate in that type of procedure. I was having nightmares and could not escape the memory of what I had witnessed. I would never again assist in the murder of a child. It was over 20 years ago, but it's just as vivid in my mind today as the day it happened. The saddest part is that this procedure is still happening today.
Yep.
People have no idea we are murdering babies in this way. They think
Hey,
it
at least
isn't
you
a
said it
person,
right.
that it's just a mass of tissue.
That's not a
I'm
massive
so sorry
tissue.
for what happened to this little girl,
That is a formed
for
baby.
what I did to her. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm so sorry.
Ooh, feedback.
Sorry. Worried that was going to happen.
I thought that was actually the clip still.
It actually worked for being very eerie. See, folks, this is why what happened 2 years ago is so very important. That video right there is what we're fighting against. This war is not over. And yes, it is a war. It is a war being fought for these children.
For the helpless.
They are the helpless. In the spot that they're supposed to be the most safe so that they can grow into what God has destined them to be, they are ripped apart and pulled out and thrown away in the garbage.
Thank you to Kevin Sorbo for doing that.
Mind you, I only know about this video and this clip because of Steve Dace. Steve Dace actually talked to Kevin Sorbo over the weekend at something that they were both at. Kevin Sorbo said that he couldn't get through. He couldn't do a single take of that thing without crying the entire
It's
time.
horrible.
Of course.
I was in a good mood today till I saw this. I saw that video today for the first time.
I don't know why you would not be in a good mood afterwards. Why would you be in it? Why?
We all know how I feel because that could have been me on that table.
Well, but here's the thing. For me, I look at this as a cold splash of water of reality.
Yep.
Right. If people don't know, right, and I don't.
Right. I thought it would be a vacuum.
Well, this is
And get it
hold on,
sucked
but
out.
here's the thing. I will tell you something. This is why. So, having gone to and been at an abortion mill, having standing out in the cold
And praying.
and praying,
Yep, I've done
and
it.
and people are seeing people like us standing there, and I get it. Everybody's got their opinions. Look, fine. You think that it's none of our business. It's my body, my choice. Okay, fine. That's
your body.
That's your stance. If you want to call it that, fine. All right. Here's my problem with that. We're standing out there for the baby that you are about to go into a room, have that procedure done, and you're going to come out. And I can tell you, having been there, watching women go in, thinking this was the right decision, and walking out
Destroyed.
their life in shambles.
That video should have to be shown to every single one.
It's
that
never
goes
done.
in there.
And I will tell you this. Here's the other thing
They
that's a
don't
little.
tell you what
Here's
they're
some
doing.
other things that I know I
And it
can't.
should be shown.
I'm going to tell you this is another stat that you will not ever find. You won't. It's buried. It's dark. It's deep. It's not going to show up. But mothers, people who actually deliver their babies, okay, they are susceptible to something called postpartum depression.
Yep.
Of those who are susceptible to postpartum depression, you can get this number. I don't have it, so please don't quote this number, but there's a good percentage of them that suffer from that. Not total. So if you were to go moms who deliver babies. I can't believe I said people. There's only women.
Yeah. There's only women. Only
women can do this.
See what the
See what they're doing. See what they're doing. All right. So, but women who have delivered their babies, there's not a very large percentage of them suffer postpartum depression. But then out of that, there's a percentage of them that will kill themselves. They will commit suicide. Terribly sad.
Yes.
That number is exponentially higher for women who go and have an abortion.
Yep.
That is beyond postpartum. It is life shattering.
Well, it's because the female body, when pregnancies happen, your body, the way God designed it, the way God created the female body, knows that it's going to go through a cycle of hormones
Human
and
incubator.
everything else for 9 months.
It's an incubator.
You cut that gets cut short for any reason, miscarriage, abortion, whatever. Your body goes through an absolute shock.
Yep, and it's not just
this
that.
is the motto. Yes, I'm a guy. I don't know how it really feels. I've been my ex-wife went through it a couple times. I know what it's like to see somebody deal with a miscarriage.
Yep.
And I know how hard it is because I physically can't say I know what you're going through, babe. I can't and can never say that.
Right.
But I've seen how hard that is. Yeah. And when that cycle is cut short for whatever reason, the shock your body goes through because of that hormone instantly being stopped when it's not supposed to be. And I mean, that's the whole reason why postpartum depression happens, is because you had all these hormones that were skyrocketing and now all of a sudden you're at a low. It's like getting kicked off a drug. Okay, your body
there's more to it than that.
I mean, there is, yes.
There's and the bigger thing that I think that goes through with it is because there is that reality of what you just saw. They know that happened. Mm-hmm. There is evidence of this happening after that they cannot get rid of. It is burned in their brain, just like it was burned into that.
And I have to say,
I guess he was. What was the guy who was the testimony of that? All he did is he ran the ultrasound. He ran the ultrasound, but like
he was ultrasound tech.
They are not like they're sedated. They're not out cold.
Yeah, no.
This is not a procedure you're out cold for. So you're awake, you're watching, you know what happened afterward. You see it. It's not hidden from you.
And these psychopaths that are like, I found out I'm pregnant. I'm scheduling my 1800th abortion again.
You're a crazy person.
You're a psychopath.
Yep.
You're a psychopath.
You
are murdering life. You are murdering an innocent child. And this is why this is so important, that we should be celebrating the fact that 2 years ago, Roe v. Wade was overturned.
This process has been made exceptionally more difficult.
In a lot of states.
What'd you find?
I found some good stuff.
About what I was talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, how much?
So let's start with a good number here. 30% of women will have an abortion.
Okay.
So
that's not a good number. That's not a good number.
A good number that you can understand.
A round number. Not necessarily a good number, but a round number.
30% of women who are pregnant will have an abortion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the ones now, I couldn't find the ending yourself part.
Yeah,
the unaliving.
Because I told you that
yeah.
number will not be given. It is a hidden number.
But it does help to have, because it also is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Just to let you know. Also, it's women that have 1, 2, 3, or more mental health disorders before their first abortion, and then they have it after their first goes from 37% to 57% have mental health issues after having an abortion.
Yep. So it's not good for your brain.
No,
it's not.
It's awful for your brain.
Yep. And so and keeping that in mind, if your brain is 50% okay and 50%, like if you're in that 57th percentile and your mental health is so bad, what do you think the quality of your life is?
Yeah.
What do you think your outlook on life is? So, I mean, like let's be honest, people who have suicidal tendencies, and I'm not saying I don't know, because I'm not even going to speak like I do know, but the reality of that mentality is there's a break in your mental capacity.
I
You as a sane human being cannot end yourself. I don't think it's possible.
No.
I really don't.
Suicide is a.
I just don't.
Permanent. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Yep.
And here's the thing. You're right. You're right. Look. I've battled in my life. These guys know. I've battled in my life with depression. I've in the past had times where I've gone into full on funks. Before I accepted Christ as my Lord and Savior, I tried to unalive myself multiple times, but God got in the way. Okay?
Same.
And
mental health awareness, folks.
But I have said this, like, where I'm now, no matter how bad it is now, I couldn't do it. Yeah. I realize I'm going through crap.
Yeah.
No, I realize I'm going through crap.
But I think that's the best. I think that's the
that
best.
has a lot to do with your kids, too.
But you want no, it doesn't. But what I'll say is, it has to do with faith. It has to do with God. It has to do with having support. And this is the thing I don't think people understand is when you're in a mental health problem, you feel like there is no hope. You feel like there is no way out. You feel like there is no help. But the one true reality of this is mental health is actually curable. It is fixable. You can repair. Not all mental health issues, obviously. There's some things that are permanent, brain damage, things like that you can't fix. Joe Biden, he's not going to be fixed, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, that's permanent mental health problem. But
stutter and dementia.
But like mental health issues like depression, like postpartum depression, like schizophrenia, these types of things, ADHD, all these things, like those are fixable. They're curable, not medicationally curable. Medication can help, but it's not the way to fix it.
No,
there is ways to fix it, and sometimes it's having the right things around you, having the right people around you, having faith. These things work. They're proven. They have, and when you recover from that, you end up being out of that statistic realm that we're we're talking about.
And this goes back to what he was saying in his sermon. Again, this is why y'all need to hear it. We need to stop with this falsehood that as Christians, as believers, that we can't be too heavenly minded because then we're no good to everybody else on earth. False.
Got to be the standard.
We need to be the standard bearers. This is where the church needs to get out of their four walls, out of their bunker, like we said in the last episode, like he's been preaching for the past couple of weeks. Okay? Like I've been saying for God knows how long on TikTok and everything else I've been talking on. We need to get out of our walls. We need to, one, be standing up for life. Standing up for life. Yep. We need to be celebrating that, again, Roe v. Wade got overturned. We need to be, and I don't just mean life in the womb. Because life doesn't stop once you're born. That is life starts in the womb. Then you're born. Then there's more to life, and we need to celebrate this. We need to celebrate it and be there with the men, so that we don't have the statistics of how many soldiers and men unalive themselves every 50 seconds in a day. I realize the number's not quite that.
2,000 men a day.
2,000 men a day. And a lot of them, yes, are veterans, have dealt with crap, have seen some stuff, and can't deal with it.
Like that guy at Skyrim.
There's a meme that we've been sharing. It is hilarious.
I'm sure he offed himself after what he saw.
Or the guy from Borderlands.
Yeah, that guy
Shooty
McFace or whatever.
But
yeah,
and just so that you look, abortion isn't new under the sun, and I say that to preface this next video. There is nothing new under the sun, and this video will go with that one as well.
All right, I'm going to mute myself because it seemed, I think
yours was the one causing
mine was
the
one
feedback because you're right by the speaker.
Yeah. So, all right, let's give it a shot.
Child sacrifice. Barbaric. Evil. Ancient. Modern. There's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Throughout history, children have been sacrificed to a variety of deities in attempts to gain favor or blessings. Aztecs cut their children's hearts out to appease the gods of rain and war. Incas sacrificed their children to the sun god so their crops would flourish.
Yep.
Canaanites sacrificed their infants to Moloch for prosperity. Drums were played loudly to drown out the baby's screams.
That's the worst one.
Yep.
Child sacrifice never stopped, and we still don't hear their screams.
Yep.
There's nothing new under the sun. We
Pause real
sacrifice
quick.
our children today.
And before we get into the child sacrifice, I have to talk quietly because we talk about this all the time here, and abortion's bad.
Yep.
Abortion is terrible. And I know you didn't plan this, and this is your fault because you introduced this video without running it by me, so you have nobody to blame but yourself.
Yes, I wanted them to see these live because I had to see them live, and I wanted their pure, unadulterated reactions.
Nope.
But you weren't expecting this one, I can assure you.
Maybe I was.
When you understand, okay, these rituals have been going on, they're ancient, okay, and now you have this modern day approach, which seems humane, sure, whatever. It's
Which
not.
the video kid
okay,
does say.
you'll see, and I already know where it's going to go. But I want to point out something here that's even worse, because what triggered this was when they were talking about in the altar malak, and yes, I believe that is probably the worst of all of this. Is really bad.
You know the area in which the Jerusalem actually did that, because they were told, that was the one thing, don't do it. They were told not to do it, and then they did it. And the valley that they did, that the Jews, the Israelites themselves, offered their babies up to Moloch. Number one, that was God was very pissed and brought in another country. No. God was very pissed, brought in a country to totally take them over and to scatter them all over the place. But even to this day, that valley where that happened is nothing but burning garbage. Literally. It is a constantly burning pile of garbage.
It's like Silent Hill.
It's weird. It's kind of like God kind of gets his own way somehow.
Well, I mean, he's God, so. But I want to point this out because when it was talking about the drums playing so loud that they would drown out the screaming.
Screams.
This is the part I don't think people understand. And as bad as abortion is, there's something worse going on with children. And that is the sex trafficking.
Yep.
And
this is all life. This is what we're supposed to be celebrating.
Think about
not destroying.
If a baby's life never fully gets to start, like outside of the womb, they don't get to have school and know their mom and dad and all that stuff. That's horrible. That's horrific. It's a terrible thing. I'm not wishing that on any person. Then I say them being people. Okay,
They are people.
I'm not.
You're correct.
I'm not saying that I wish this on them. But if I were to say what's the lesser of two evils, them being born and then thrown into a sex trafficking ring at a age of 4 or 3.
That's usually around 11 is when they get picked up.
They get picked up younger.
Well, no,
they get picked up younger.
Well, no, they get picked up.
They get picked up younger, and they don't start getting used like that. But they are definitely abused.
The most
tremendously.
the most popular age that gets snatched
and
is around 11.
And these girls, mostly girls, end up being set on so many drugs. They end up being completely addicted to drugs. They die at an age of between 18 and 25.
Yep.
I'm sorry. That I don't wish that on anybody. And it's horrific, but you want to talk about silencing that kind of scream, that kind of torture. This is what's happening today. There are nations. I'm not saying states. I'm saying full-on nations. A country, a whole country. There's multiple countries, but I'm not going to say where they are because that's racist. But
no, Ukraine's one of those countries.
No. I'm not going to that one.
I'll keep going.
I'm saying there's worse than Ukraine. Trust me,
there
there's way worse than Ukraine, and there are a lot of them in one specific continent. But anyway, and it's a racist. I can't even continue. Africa. Stop!
You don't have to say it. It was already said.
Yes, I did have to say it.
But no,
I don't care
but
about
there's
the
YouTube. There's so much sex trafficking that goes on in these other countries, and it's literally ignored completely, not done anything about. passed by. Those drums.
And they get welcomed into our country with our open borders.
Those drums are beaten
kids.
and beaten louder and louder so that everybody just ignores it. And look, I'm just saying.
You know what? You know who's banging the drums? You know who's banging the drums? The same people that are pushing the let's gender mutilate our children.
Well,
because that's what we're paying attention more than that is we got to have transgender rights.
Anything that takes the precedent, or this is, and I'm bringing it back, and I don't want you to think I'm not bringing it back.
No, I got you.
I am bringing it back, but where I'm coming from and why I'm bringing this up is because these are the drum. Like, this is what the drums look like now. They look different. Where you are willing to accept that over this. Look, this is what he was saying just a few minutes ago. This is that we're useless, completely useless as the body of Christ if we don't call both of those things utterly evil, absolutely sickening to your stomach, and you will not stop until they are not in existence anymore.
When I say this is Life Month, I will state this again.
Quality of life too.
It is not just
life existence.
It is not just about the innocent life in the womb. It's about innocent life everywhere. I'm talking about this very thing. Because what did God do when he created life? What was the single act that brought life onto this earth? He breathed his very breath into Adam, and we had life. He breathed his own essence into us. So with every person, with every child that is murdered, with every person that is born and then is told that you were put in the wrong body because God is a liar and he is wrong, with every person that is fed that lie, or every child that is damaged and hurt because of sex trafficking, or any other reason, or any adult that is absolutely destroyed through life, any of these things, you are trying to destroy the very essence of God. And I'm sorry. Let's see. What's the unforgivable sin? The blasphemy of the Holy Spirit seems a little bit like that's exactly it.
And you can throw the pedo people in there too.
Oh, yes, we can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. So
child abusers.
When I say that this is yes, we should celebrate life. But I also say that June, Life Month, should be a call to arms. And I'm not talking actual arms.
It's also PTSD Awareness Month as well.
Again,
post-traumatic stress
life.
Yes, again, life. This is where every person who calls upon the name of Christ, every person.
I bet you it's also like peanut butter and jelly month too.
You ready? I have that.
I think that is actually one of them.
It was hilarious.
It's probably something ridiculous.
No, there's a couple of them in June that are actually great.
There's some really, really, really good ones.
But anyway,
it is Aquarium Month.
Don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Turkey Lovers Month.
Turkey's good.
Wrong month. That should be November. Because I like my turkey.
Wait, no, they're talking about the country turkey.
National
get your rolling
Adopt
dervish.
a Cat Month.
I could care less about that. Adopt a kid.
Let's see. Dairy Month.
Milk good.
Iced Tea Month.
Heck yeah.
Wait. Dairy month?
Dairy Month.
It's Dairy Month?
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to get protested out.
all
those lactose intolerant people are like,
It's also National DJ Month. All right. National Give a Bunch of Balloons. That is
99 moof balloons. Yeah.
Also, National Migraine and Headache Awareness Month.
This is giving me a headache. I think we need to stop. We have a video to finish.
Yes.
And Caribbean, American, and Portuguese Heritage Month.
Okay. Sure. No, fantastic. Good for them.
What I'm saying is that this needs to be a month.
They're people.
This is a month that we need to be not only celebrating life and what has been achieved thus far, but this needs to be a day of remembrance that there is so much more we need to fight for before we are done this battle.
Yeah.
Before we leave this earth, before God tells us, that's it, I'm done with this, I'm torching it all, and I'm creating a new heaven and new earth, which he's going to do. Read the end of the book. You'll see. Okay. But until that day happens, we need to mercilessly and unapologetically and with every fiber of our being fighting against this. If there is any Christian out there that is like, I'm not pro-choice, but I just don't think that anybody should tell a woman what they can do with their body. Repent. You're not a Christian. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I said it. Come at me. I dare you.
I will.
Huh?
I'm joking.
But let's finish the video.
Not for reign or war victories, but for freedom or convenience. We sacrifice to gain favor in the workplace, or for the blessings of money or fame.
Yep.
We sacrifice our babies on the altar of free sex. Child sacrifice is no longer a public event. It's done behind closed doors. Rather than a gory burning or bloody stabbing, it's become a neat, sterile, and clinical event. We don't throw our children into the fire or leave them to freeze to death. We starve our babies. We poison them. We rip off their arms and legs and crush their skulls. We call it choice. We call it empowerment. And our culture condones it. We celebrate it. We celebrate baby murder. We consider it vital to our existence. It's become a right. But nothing is different. There's nothing new under the sun. Innocent human beings are still being sacrificed for the selfish gains of those more powerful.
Yep.
Modern child sacrifice is thriving.
I have to say, this is well
We
done
must
now.
end it. End abortion.
Yes. No. Don't litigate abortion. End it completely.
Yep. This is. You're gonna need the. We got that echo. But this is. We need to end abortion. And those videos. Look, go to choice42.com. Look, we're not getting anything from them.
Yep.
They're not asking us to do this. I saw these. These were very well done. Very graphic for being cartoons. They've got.
They're not.
Uh-huh.
Thank God they're not like
Thank
actual
God they're
videos.
not actual surgical procedures.
You can find those
You
videos.
can. That's true.
No, thank you.
But graphic enough to where even as a that's okay.
No.
Go check out their stuff. They're surprisingly Canadian.
Not everything out of Canada is bad. You got maple syrup and hockey.
And Rumble.
Yeah.
Rumble came
And
from
Ryan
Canada.
Reynolds.
And Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, we'll keep him.
I can't wait till July. Can't wait, baby. Can't wait. I've been waiting for that movie forever. I'm not gonna give.
You can keep, but I will say there's a lot of Canadians you can just take back. We don't want them.
And you can have Robert De Niro. We don't want him anymore.
Yeah.
We'll take Bieber. You can have De Niro. That's saying something after everything he did.
Listen, people
this is
redeemable.
Yes, Guy. I'm not apologizing for putting any of this up in our podcast today. I'm not apologizing for it.
No, you should.
If
Or
right
somebody
now,
demanding it, you do.
Absolutely not.
look, I'm sure somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, that was too squeamish." Oh my! I don't care. You needed to see it. Look, I've watched it twice now. Both of those videos. They still make my
sure
stomach
doesn't
hurt.
get better the second.
No, it does not. Because now I know what's coming and I still don't like it. Okay? You need to see it. Kids that are old enough to be having intercourse, relations, whatever you want to call them, should see this. There are good and bad consequences to every decision we make. And I hate to say it. The truth of the matter is that a good consequence in a good setting, husband and wife, of having intercourse is a child. When you're not with somebody and you're just, throwing your junk all over the place to whoever wants to catch it.
I'm going to pause you before you finish that sentence. Children are never a bad consequence.
No, they're not. It's an untimely consequence.
What is the bad consequences of having a child when you are not prepared?
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says.
Nobody's
ever prepared for a child.
I was going to trade. I'm going to change my word. When you are not mature enough to be responsible for that child, is that because of the lack of maturity, you have to grow up very fast, quickly, and it is not a fun experience.
That's
the consequence.
The consequence of sex.
The child is not a consequence.
The consequence of relations. Like I said, for every action, there's an equal and greater reaction. So having intercourse, no matter married or otherwise, the reaction is baby potentially. I mean, even with contraceptive, it's not 100%. You could have baby.
Yep.
Okay, so this is where people need to be taught. Look, if you're gonna you want to do you and do whatever you do. Look, I don't care. I would prefer you not. Let's all be smart. And number one, not let
Stop making stupid people.
Yeah. Stop making stupid people.
Unfortunately, stupid people produce stupid people.
Yes.
Stop it.
This is why we need to take warning labels.
Get upset.
This is why we need to take warning labels off of things so that
so like nature take its course.
Nature take its course. Of course, you can take that toaster into the bathtub. Go for it. Make toast while you're taking a shower. But it's the natural order of things that when you have relations between a man and a woman, you will have baby. Not man and man, not woman and woman, not thing versus and thing, not thing one and thing two. All y'all people who think God put you in a wrong body, you're wrong. Women are the only ones that can carry them, and men need to step up because y'all need to stop, being boys with your toys and take responsibility. It's not just the woman. I'm not going to throw just the woman on that one, because if men were actually doing their job, and actually instead of just sitting back and being like, I there's nothing I can do, I can't fight it, then there would be things changing, because it is slowly changing. But it's going to take real men, real Christians, real people that truly stand for life, that is truly going to change these things. And that is what June is. It is time to circle the wagons. It is time to game plan. It is time to go at these people 1,000% stronger than we did the year before. Celebrate the life that God has given us.
Yep.
And defend the life that God has given all of us. Defend that life. Defend what he has given us. So, please share this with anybody that needs to know this. Anybody who's never been taught what actually happens in an abortion, show them this.
42 years on this planet, never once had an idea. I thought it was you take the baby.
You think they just upgraded the Floby?
Yeah, they just get a big old suction tube and just suck the whole thing out.
Nope. It is pull it apart piece by piece, and that is what they do.
That is awful.
And just so you're aware, and I don't want to again get graphic about it, but it is already there.
It's
so
graphic.
Fine. There's a lot of things that during that period of time. So like, why is it that pregnancy full term, right, sometimes doesn't end with an actual push the baby out, right? Because there's this thing known as dilation, right? Okay, so a woman has to dilate, open up enough that the baby can come through, because babies are not, tiny. They're little humans. So
watermelon shaped heads.
So that process has to come to a final point where that dilation hits that 10 centimeters, where there's enough of them to be able to push all of that out of their. Well, we'll just use scientific terms, out of the vagina. Okay? All right. So that being said, when you're in your second trimester, you're not there yet.
No.
Nope.
Not even
close.
1 centimeter. Nothing.
There is
a thing that when a woman goes and gets procedures done downstairs, they put them in a thing, stirrups, okay, which keeps their legs open, and then they also have a thing called a speculum that opens up that area forcibly, and it's not pleasant, and it's cold, and it's pressing open, just wide enough that they can get these forceps, which are about like probably needle nose pliers.
Right.
They're a little wider.
They're actually about as thick as your
maybe
fingers.
about as big as your fingers. But the ends of them are. But the nozzle, the tips of the whole thing is not. It's very long, narrow, but the ends of it are maybe about as wide as my finger, maybe about my nail, my finger. And they go in and they do that for a reason, because they can't pull the baby out in its whole entirety.
They have to pull it out piece by piece.
They have to pull it out piece by piece. That's the only way to do it without inserting something like, a spinning blade into a woman's uterus, which will kill the woman.
Yep.
So that's the only safe, and I say this with very, very clear understanding. I'm only speaking about the mother at this point, okay? Not the baby.
It's not safe for that baby at all.
Nothing is safe for the baby at this point, but it is the only way to safely remove the
and
baby.
Even then, it happens that they don't get all the stuff out and then they get sick.
They could get infections and things like that.
They got like a needle that like euthanized them, and then
it's before
earlier in
Yep,
development.
earlier in development, they will poison. They'll basically poison the embryonic sac. The embryonic sac will basically dissolve the baby, and then it'll be like a miscarriage.
Yep. That's earlier on.
And just so we're clear, and again, I just want to point this out here because if you want to hear this guy's personal opinion. First thing, if you want to prevent that from ever happening and you're not prepared for it, don't have sex at all. First step.
Abstinence.
Okay, you'll never get pregnant if you don't have sex. It's impossible. Nobody can sneeze on you and poof, you're a baby. No, that ain't happening. Well, I don't know. Never mind. I'll save that for off the table.
That's table talk.
It's okay.
No out of pocket on that one. I know where you're going. No out of pocket on that one.
So anyway,
not getting me in trouble.
But I will say though that's obviously abstinence is the first way, but contraceptives. Female or male contraceptives work really well. I also
not 100%,
not 100%, but they work very well. And obviously, if you want to be on, what is it?
Cautionary.
No, women can be on. Women can be on.
Depot shot.
No,
Depot shot, but then there's that hook.
Birth control. Thank you. Birth control. Yeah, just women on regular birth control, things like that. It helps regulate, time things better. You obviously have more successes if you want to have a sexually active lifestyle. Again, not advocating sex before marriage. Pastor's not advocating that for the record. But I just want to point out that obviously people that are in the world listening to this are not going to obviously embrace my belief system.
They should.
Even though I believe you should. That's another argument. We can talk about that another time. But with that, though, okay, Plan B is not contraceptive.
Nope.
Plan B is you are stopping the process of life after it started. I'm sorry. You may not like that. Is it more humane? Is it quicker? Is it easier? I don't know. I'm not getting into any of that, but facts are facts. That is a poison. It is literally killing the starting process of life.
Yep.
It is 100% what it does. If you're not sure about that, you can look up the information. You can read it online. You don't need to get me.
Plan B is moida.
It is indeed a just very, very, very early and obviously way to get it over the counter instead of having to go through a lot of other processes in medical fields and things like that. So that's all I wanted to say about that.
That's fine.
Okay.
So guys, a little bit of a darker episode. I don't care. It's time your eyes were open. It's time for your eyes to be opened.
Dark 30 over here.
It's time for everybody's eyes to be open to the truth of things.
Took
and
us in a crypt.
I thank you for going through this. And if you had the ability to, now you're gonna darken it. I thank you for going through this. Look, I get it. It's squeamish. But seriously, it is time to keep fighting because this battle is not done until abortion is absolutely abolished. Yep. Until abortion goes the way of slavery and is absolutely 100% abolished. Top to bottom, not allowed to happen, and every child that is conceived can live the life that God has planned for them. That being said, there are resources out there for people that need help. Obviously, there's this place. They have stuff all over their website with Choice 42. There's a bunch of other ones that will not only help you with while you're carrying, but help set you up after the baby is born, all through donations and everything else. Please go to them. Please find them. It's not hard to find them. Just don't use Google. Use another search because Google will shove it out of the way. That being said, you know the deal. Go to the link tree in bio. You can follow us. You can email us. Look, if you have questions for places you need to go, I have different websites I can send you to. I've been a major advocate against abortion for many years. I was almost aborted until somebody got in the way of my mother doing it. So I get people can be there, but there's other ways to do things. And there's other ways to ensure that even if you can't care for the baby, there is hundreds of thousands of people in this country who would gladly raise the child. So, that all being said, if you need prayer requests whatsoever, you want places for me to point you, just email us. The email is in the link tree in the bio. Also, you need to be listening to this man's sermons on that past for this whole year. Really, has been on fire. Okay, now mind you, you're going to find some interweaving things that happen because he's talking about it. Ends up we talk about it on here too. Why? Because lately we've been in the same area of things. He's been stealing my notes for his sermons.
Not
I
true.
Swear it. I don't know how he's doing it. I swear
true.
it. But anyway, I digress. It's it's the Holy Spirit doing what He's doing, and we're linked in this. And we may not.
You just got to stop putting your soda can in front of the camera.
We might not come at it from the same angle, but we both have the same. We've been, as of late, been having the same ending point in a lot of things. But go listen to them. If you happen to be in South Jersey on a Sunday around 10 o'clock in the morning, get again, going to the church website that is on the link tree, you can get our address and you can come join us and worship with us, and you can get fed and you can worship with brothers and sisters. And shoot, if you don't know Christ as your Lord and Savior, you can come there and we will tell you how to get that relationship going the right way, not Joe Olstein's way. Yeah, I gotta rip on him somewhere. We're not gonna hit you with a jacket like Benny Hinn either.
It could happen accidentally. You're not going to fly like 80 feet in the air, you know.
But I digress. We will be back in 2 weeks, where the man behind the curtain pushing the button, Steve Cattell, is going to bring questions. We are going to do another Politics for Dummies episode. But as it is June, celebrate life. Celebrate it and fight for it. And thank you for joining us on the corner of Church and State, where there is no separation. Y'all have a good one.
I can't help it, I just seem to see the world different. It ain't Republicans or labor rules, it's mental illness. The internet is only interested in left opinions. Cancel culture's got more power lately than the First Amendment. If you don't like it, leave. We will not defund police. We don't want no riots in our neighborhoods or in the streets. We respect freedom of speech. We protect what we believe. We don't want nobody dead, so please do not tread on me. In America, your freedom ain't free. In America, got soldiers dying overseas. So America,